WOG. Another episode of Beards and Whiskey presented to you by Grizzly Beard Collective. Of course, I'm your host, Marcus, and I got special guests in the building.
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me. This is, well, I guess everybody calls me Marty, so I'm going to just go by Marty now.
Thank you for coming through,
You already know, my nigga. Thank you for having me, man.
You already?
You know, the beard is, if you see the beard shining, you already know the products that's in it. I don't even need to say it.
None other. Thank you for coming through, though. Damn, where do we start? Where do we start with, man?
Man, there's all types of effery going on right now in this life, so I don't know. There's so much different options that we could touch on.
We back outside. Let's start with the beard.
Word.
So you definitely got a full beard, pause.
Yeah.
How long you been growing it?
So on the last show we just did, I was speaking on my surgery. I was growing my beard was actually longer than this, but I had got into a rough surgery and they had to like slit a cut into like my throat. So when they did that, they actually butchered I woke up out of a coma. Like my beard was like they Razor Ramon, like rest in peace Razor Ramon.
R.I.P. Razor.
Yeah, so they like cut half my beard off, dude, because they had to have a surgeon right here to take some stuff out of my neck. So I had no choice but to cut my beard off and start all over again. So it's probably been like maybe a couple of years now since I've regrown it. Then I had trimmed it down a bit. But I'm not gonna lie, ever since I started using my man's products, everything's been shiny, growing back, healthy, thick, and strong. So pause. So everything has just been working out for itself, and so.
Hell yeah. And I know for your profession, you're a truck driver. Mm-hmm. With the beard, how does it tie in? How does it tie into the workplace? Like, is it looked down upon?
I think as in the profession, because we know, truck drivers with trucker hats and beards, man. Truck drivers and motherfucking motorcycle games go hand in hand. So you associate a beard. Like if you see a trucker, old timer trucker with a long beard, and that's like a sign of like longevity and like y'all been in the game. So I feel like beards and truckers just go hand in hand, because to be realistic with you, if you're on the road for like 6 months out the year as a truck driver, you're probably pulling up to like a couple of truck stops. You may shave, but 9 out of 10 times you're not you're letting your beard run. And maybe when you come back off on the road, you might trim it up, you might shave. But if you're on the road and you're cross country and whatever the case may be, you're growing your beard out, because one, you don't have the time. 9 out of 10 times you're spending 10 hours driving. Yep. Then you're spending 11 hours driving, 10 hours sleeping. Then you're doing it all over again. So when you do stop at truck stops or whatever to sleep for the night, you're gonna take a shower, but you're not gonna spend that time trying to shave, and you're not gonna feel comfortable inside of those truck stop bathrooms to just be shaving and whatnot. You just want to get in and out, shower, get your food, and go to sleep so you can go back on the run. So I feel like beards and truckers go hand in hand.
That's real. That's definitely real. Now, what do you feel like the beard represents in American society today? Like, do you think?
I feel like the beard represents strength. Like, obviously certain cultures, it could represent cleanliness, godliness, or whatever. But to me, I feel like it's a form of strength, because if you could walk around with a clean knit beard, it says a lot. It's just like you wake up in the morning and you make your bed. So when it comes to the beard, to keep a clean knit beard, it just says a lot about you. Like, you got attention to detail. Yeah. You're like, I want to make sure, because at the end of the day, when people see your face, the first thing they're going to recognize is your beard. They're going to recognize if you got food in it. Yep. They're going to recognize if you got lint in it. They're going to recognize whatever in it. If it's not clean or up to maintenance, people are going to recognize that. They're going to see your face, but what's going to stick out is the beard. So I feel like it's a symbol of strength and who you are. Like I take pride in my beard. I'm getting grays in it now, so I've learned to grow. Like, oh damn, I'm getting gray hair, but I feel like with the gray hair, it's a sign of longevity and wisdom and growth. Yeah. So, to me, to answer that question, I feel like the beard represents strength and just like just growth and just overall like man shit, like man status. You know.
We definitely drink to that, man.
Nah, word. Salute.
Yes, sir. Yeah, how's COVID life been treating you? We back outside.
Shit.
Semi for the season.
Nah, word. COVID life, like I beat that shit twice.
Okay.
Like, so to be real with you, I was one of those that tried. Obviously, we were stuck on like when we had really much of a choice, we were stuck on lockdown mode.
Yep.
But I was one of those dudes that was trying to go against that, break the rules and shit, sneak out, whatever the case may be. But at the time, obviously, I couldn't because there was really nobody outside.
Yeah.
So I would stick out like a sore thumb. But for the most part, COVID life, just obviously being safe, washing my hands, making sure I'm not doing all the stuff that they say that would contract COVID or cause spread or whatever. Obviously played those roles of being safe. But for the most part, COVID life was actually pretty chill. Like, especially during lockdowns, like, I connected with old friends when it came to, like, IG lives, Facebook lives on your iPhone. Like, I connected with a lot of good people. I built different relationships with people that I probably wouldn't have spoken to. So I feel like during the lockdowns, like, it was actually a party at the crib with your friends via social media. Like, there was plenty of times I jumped on IG Live with my homies, my boy Cyrus, Primetime Cut, shout out to y'all. Like, they're watching him teach younger dudes. They had nothing to do. Dudes that want to be barber, they come on live and they showing you doing, they cutting one of their homies in the bathroom and asking us to critique it and showing them the process. So it was actually pretty. It was new because I think it forced people to try something different.
Hell yeah.
Do something different than what they was accustomed to.
Hell yeah.
So I feel like COVID, a lot of business people came out of COVID, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of like people with different craftsmanship, a lot of different things came out of COVID. So I'm not one of those that be like, oh, that's the thing I didn't want to happen. I didn't want to be depressed. Because with everything going on, like, COVID kind of like stopped a lot of things that I had going on. So I tried not to, just to make the best out of the situation. And I'm already a homebody. Yeah. So I was just like, word, I could get to stay home and not fucking actually people say shit about it. So it was cool.
That's what's up, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, if you can have dinner with 5 guests, either present or no longer here with us, who would they be?
Definitely my nigga Nip, rest in peace. DMX.
Okay.
Prince, just to pick his brain.
Okay.
Because society looked at Prince like he was homo, whatever the case. But if you know but if you hear stories of his close friends, none of that weird stuff. And Prince was on some, like, he was
Next
telling
level,
dudes like, yo, wake up, bro. Like, you're getting railroaded. So it would be DMX, Prince, Net. Rest in peace to the OG Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know y'all wasn't expecting that.
Nah, I wasn't.
Like, that's my guy. Like, Anthony Bourdain, man. He was another one that was on some higher spiritual level stuff. And for the 5th one, it may be like Genghis Khan.
Oh shit! Okay. I ain't mad at it.
Because we all follow the art of 14 laws of power, art of war.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see like what was he thinking in those times when it came to warfare and battle and how to combat certain things. So I would say, yeah, those 5. And it's random, but those 5.
That's
because
real.
Yeah, so.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, that's definitely gonna be like an eclectic ass dinner. Like he's calling it DMX
and Prince and this like
pass the bread.
So you're getting. I feel like all these dudes stood for something, and they stood on their square, and they was willing to die for what they believe in. And it's just like, it's only right. I'm sure that if the list was long, there's more other people. But those 5 right there is dudes where I just like, when it comes to warfare, when it comes to information, when it comes to living in peace, when it comes to struggling and bouncing back, when it comes to just like not being a slave to whatever, I feel like every one of those individuals would actually touch on everything that I would be inquiring of.
Now, how important is it to you on standing on your square?
I feel like that's all you have. If you don't, it's like there's really no point of living, because if you don't stand on your square, you don't trust yourself. You're not fully invested in yourself. If you believe in something, and I'm not saying for you not to believe what somebody else says, but if you want to question, like I don't know, I just feel like all you have is yourself at the end of the day. If somebody can manipulate you or coerce you or whatever, point you in another direction, I feel like, you know, stuff could get really like cloudy and like smoky. But standing on your square is just like, yo, like, trust what you believe and stand on that. Even if you feel like, even if other people say it's wrong, it's like, if you believe in something, go and do it and just stick by it no matter what anybody says. Because at the end of the day, you may be right, you may be wrong, but regardless, you still, because nobody's gonna believe you unless you believe yourself. At the end of the day, that's just my opinion.
No, that's real. That's real, man. That's real. I don't know who needs to hear that, but yeah, I mean, that's real. Shit. Yeah, man. Damn, that's real. Kind of took me away with that answer. Now, wrestling. What era did you grow up with the wrestling?
I grew up with so I grew up in Haiti.
Okay.
So in Haiti, all you knew was Chuck Norris, MacGyver, and Michael Jackson.
Oh shit.
Growing up, like when it comes to TV,
it
was MacGyver, Chuck Norris, and Michael Jackson, and Bob Marley. But so there was a little bit of wrestling trickled in that, like whatever they will preview out there. But coming to America in 1994, and like between that era, I fell in love with wrestling because I didn't have cable, and I feel like at the time it was on like local channels. So if you couldn't catch the big like Royal Rumbles, you could get like WCW. Like you could get the Sandmans, you could get the freaking, what's the Indian dude I used to do? Sabu. So like I grew up on like the Mankind versus fucking Undertaker when he threw the motherfucker off the cage, and you're like, yo, this nigga just got threw it off 50 feet off a cage and laid it on the table, like X-Pac, nigga, 1, 2, 3 Kid, like so. Wrestling played, like I lived on Bishop Allen Drive, like shout out to my boy Keith Fire, my boy Eddie Burrito. We used to come to the crib. We used to take the mattress off the bed in my room, put it on the ground, and we'd have all-out wrestling matches. Shout out to my boy Jay Reed, my boy Miraculous. Like, I almost broke my leg at they crib doing wrestling shit. Like, really, we was... And, like, rest in peace to that young girl, but back in the days, it was that young dude that killed
Florida,
his sister.
Fucked it up for everybody.
Doing the Stone Cold Stunner. So, like, I feel like wrestling really played a big role in the inner city because that shit was our form of entertainment. Like, when we thought that shit was real. And I still love it to this day. I just don't follow it, but the characters and the charisma and the entertainment was just dope. So I just want to say rest in peace, Razor Ramon.
Rest in
like
peace,
this
dog.
is for you. Like that played Like, it was growing up, we used to, whenever we go home and come back from school, we either talking about wrestling, freaking sports, or like whatever at the time was then. But it was definitely like wrestling played a major part in my, like, shout out to my boy Brian Sebastian Bubba. That's like the only dude from Cambridge that I knew that had pretty much all the freaking little freaking action figures, the ring. Like, I had the rings, I had the action figures. Like, yo, that brand was just so lit. Like, you'll do what you have, like a wrestling ring, and you have the action figures. You're doing, yo, that brand was just one of the illest thing, and I feel like that shit is so iconic. Yeah. That, like, it's unfortunate that with the Wildlife Foundation and whatever the case, and they had to change the name, but that brand was just so iconic because. Once wrestling came on, like, what was it, like Saturday Night Raw and fucking Royal Rumble, and like you got the way, like, yo, it was just the illest. It was bigger than the Super Bowl to me.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, my man, he always, his pops used to always order all the pay-per-views, like, religiously, like. That $60 was gone.
And I was envious because I couldn't get pay-per-view. I didn't have the cable link, so I was like, I used to always hear.
Yeah,
and like
that Monday, like
like, yo, what this? And that's why, like, as I got older, I found myself looking at those pay-per-view matches from years ago on like YouTube and shit, and be like, yo, this shit is crazy. But like, we both come, like, we didn't have that luxury of getting pay-per-view, so it was like going to school to actually see the react. And I think what wrestling was more exciting, just to see the excitement from people telling you about what happened on pay-per-view match. Like, yo, this dude Undertaker came out of the fucking ground and shit. Like, I'm like, what? Like, he was in the casket, but he was in the ring. Like, I'm like, nah, nigga. Like, so.
Nah, that shit was definitely epic. It was getting crazy though.
Niggas
was telling their teachers to suck it.
Yeah, that suck it era. Yo, I know so many people listening to this and watching this dealt with detention. Like, even with the Undertaker and Kane, like, fuck them. Yo, it was so like, you really thought these dudes was really brothers.
I thought to this day I thought they were brothers.
Like, we really thought, yo, this like that's why Vince McMahon. And what he created and how to just create. Wrestling is really, it's Broadway.
It's Broadway.
It's drama, but it's storytelling. It's really like hip hop. And I feel like hip hop and wrestling go in correlation because it's storytelling. They're not putting shit on pen and pad in the studio, but you're watching the visuals of these niggas telling your story. Like when fucking Hulk Hogan went from being a good guy to NWO, nigga. Like, you're like, oh, you got the black, you got the fucking two-tone beard. Yeah. You're like, yo, these niggas
spray painted niggas.
You're like, yo, these niggas is like, I'm like, yo, I want to be like these niggas. Like, I want to be the outcast, nigga. So, and you got when Stone Cold, salute. My nigga had 2 crazy knee braces on.
Crazy knee braces, nigga. Like, no, he done threw the word nigga
around
a few times.
Of course.
We gonna let this ride.
We love, yo, you know damn well that the motherfucker definitely said the N-word a couple of times in his lifetime. But we just, like, and I feel like we grew up in wrestling on an unfiltered time where Razor Ramon could play a fucking Cuban dude, but this motherfucker's from Nebraska.
Dogs.
And we was like, oh, this was a Cuban drug dealer. And so it was just dope. And I feel like most of us grew up watching WWF or whatever the case until we go to, like, right before we went to bed. Yeah. And we just fucking, so wrestling, that shit. And I wrestled since 7th grade until my senior year in high school. So it was just like, that storytelling was just dope. Because there was really nothing on. We didn't have reality TV at that time.
Yeah, no.
That was reality TV for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had, like, what was it when fucking The Rock threw Stone Cold in the water? Was it Stone Cold?
Oh, yeah. Threw him over the bridge or some shit.
And the nigga was in the hospital and nigga ran down on him. It was just like, yo. Like, it just expanded our imagination as kids. It was like, yo, these motherfuckers is crazy.
Too legit.
Ultimate Warrior will still be my favorite wrestler, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to ask you, who's your favorite wrestler?
My favorite wrestler is Ultimate Warrior. Okay. and fucking Owen Hart, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, Owen Hart. Yeah.
And I was actually, that was the first pay-per-view match that I actually watched, and I actually watched him hit that fucking pole. And that,
word?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That shit was it. This is before technology. Like, they didn't cut it like,
yeah.
Oh, shit. They gonna hit the shit. They gonna hit the ring. And it was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Cut. Like, so... That was like probably one of the first pay-per-view matches. I was like, oh, this shit's real. Like, you can die.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, storylines is bull, you know what I mean? But, like, that shit's real. Them niggas really putting their body on the line. Like,
yeah, and they just for our entertainment. And, like, but Ultimate Warrior was always going to be my favorite wrestler because this dude was just, he comes and shakes the fucking rope and shit. Like, he was just, like, ill.
Nah, he definitely was electric.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with HBK. I know you Marty Jannetty.
I'm
gonna go with Shawn Michaels, man.
And that's where what expired my Instagram name, man. I've had it since there's no Marty Jannetty _1, 2. Like I have, like if you're gonna steal that name, you have to be Marty Jannetty _1, nigga. Like, so it became with that betrayal of the Shawn Michaels. Yeah. But what expired that name was Action Bronson name. Yep. I was like, at the time, I think I might have been like Incognito E or some shit. But I'm like, yo, I gotta reinvent my name. Then I was saying L. And Action Bronson dropped that song. It was like, kick you in the face like Marty Jannetty. And I was like, that's the tag. And ever since then, motherfuckers really think like my real name is Marty. Like people call me, people that don't want to know my real name, they call me Marty. And I be like, oh yeah, cool. Like, but yeah, like that Marty Jannetty and that betrayal with Shawn Michaels, I was like, damn. But I feel like that's my story of just being loyal, and motherfuckers can switch up on you at any given time.
Anytime.
And you got to be prepared for that. And I feel like that's the story between Shawn Michaels. Them motherfuckers was the tag team duo.
Brothers.
Like, them niggas won the chip, nigga. Like, they was really making WWF, like, what LeBron is to the NBA, Shawn Michaels was to the fucking WWF at the time. So like to like sit back and I need to go to like a WWE WWF convention, you know, because that history is just so many like we think our generation, but there's a generation before us and before them. That was like Rock's father and like all this shit. And like this is when these dudes was really doing shit. Like
really.
But
no special effects, but nah, man. But I do want to thank you for coming through, man.
Nah, you already know, my nigga.
Got to chop it up.
Nah, facts.
Like I said, looking real debonair.
It's getting there, man. It's growing, man. You know with these beards, man, your health plays a lot of role. It's not just these creams and these oils and all. Your diet plays a major role in how your beard grows out. Same with your scalp, your hair, and everything. Like your gut health. Plays a major role because everything is in unison. So
that's facts.
To keep a luxurious beard, make sure you're drinking water, you're staying hydrated, make sure you're eating the proper food. And this is stuff that I gotta do as well. So it's just like it takes more than just growing a beard and just putting oil and cream on it, man. It just whatever you put in your body, you know, it comes out through your pores and it comes out. So you just gotta keep that in mind as well.
That's real. Well, definitely want to thank everybody for tapping in. Another episode of Beards and Whiskey. We drinking Ciroc today.
Yeah.
A little bit of wine, but I had the females earlier. But another episode of Beards and Whiskey presented by Grizzly Beard Collective. Reminding everybody to, of course, tame your debonair. Be sure to tap in weekly. We back on it. Y'all ready?